Safety of lone workers. Apart from working in confined spaces, it is not forbidden to work alone in an isolated area. However, we do need to put in place provisions to protect the life and health of workers working alone in an isolated location. Isolated work has two aspects: the location and the individual. An isolated location is one where it is impossible or difficult for a worker to directly request assistance. Whereas lone workers are employees who work alone, without the immediate presence of colleagues or supervisors. Several occupations have a risk of isolation, some of which we would never have suspected. For example, a building inspector, a convenience store clerk, a delivery man, a bus driver, a forest engineer, and many more. Some of these jobs involve risks, such as dealing with aggressive clients, animals, or any other dangerous situation. Often, work in isolation is poorly recognized or completely ignored. Isolation can be physical or psychological, but in the case of an incident or accident, being isolated often makes the consequences more serious. For prevention to be optimal, management must make informed decisions about work organization, such as reducing the number and duration of isolated work activities or making the work environment safer. The risk level will then depend on several factors that need to be assessed. These include the worker's state of health. Sending a worker in a poor health condition to an isolated location is not recommended. The environment in which they work. Clearly, an air-conditioned environment in the middle of a city is not as risky as a remote area, far from life. The nature of the task to be performed. Each task must be the subject of a risk analysis to identify all the associated hazardous factors. The duration of the work activity and the working conditions, such as limiting working hours, ensuring adequate rest periods, and guaranteeing safety at work. Moreover, the more difficult or dangerous the working conditions, the more rest time and supervision we need to offer. And the time at which the work is performed. Working at night is often a huge challenge for the individual and increases the risk of incidents. When all these conditions are assessed, we become more aware of the risks involved and the preventive measures to put in place. Having a means of communication is essential to ensure that the lone worker is doing well. The worker must have access to a two-way means of communication so that they can ask for help or simply report their condition. Also, an emergency response plan is a vital procedure for ensuring their safety. This plan aims to minimize potential hazards while maximizing the chances of rapid and appropriate rescue of the worker. In conclusion, the safety of lone workers is an undeniable priority. By taking risks into account and implementing appropriate preventive measures, we can reduce the associated dangers. The importance of communication and of the emergency plan cannot be overemphasized in ensuring the protection and well-being of these workers.